Um,
You good?
yes. Okay. Welcome back to Literally Nothing Matters. Except
Mm-hmm.
for friendships. Nothing matters except for the girly pops.
Good at pops. Good, good. I'm thinking of like
The
that
girls and the gays. And that's it.
girls and the gays. So and the dogs. Don't
Oh
forget about the
yeah,
pup.
doggy friends are good too.
Mm-hmm. So how are you doing?
For sure. I am good. It's Friday. So loving that. Just sleepy. I worked a 2 day event, but then there was like also a long setup day. So I'm just feeling a little tired from a few long days, but it's all good stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's
Yeah.
good. It's
Yeah.
good to be tired from.
Yeah. No, definitely. Definitely like learned a lot. It was quite the large production. So it was cool being a part of it and just like seeing all the behind the scenes and trying to, you know,
Fun.
absorb as much as I can.
I love that.
Yeah. What about you?
Feeling good. Also tired.
Yeah.
But like feeling good. Yeah, just plugging through. Just trying to I feel like it's just like cold and just like I'm just ready. Like spring's right around the corner. We haven't really had like a winter,
Yeah.
like it hasn't like snowy or anything. And I'm like, I think we're just ready for a change of pace. I think everyone is just
Yeah.
ready to springboard into a little spring. So
Yes. I
getting
saw
through it.
a meme or something the other day that said it was like 38 days until the sun sets after 7 p.m. So we are so close.
We're so close.
We're
I feel
getting
like everyone has a little bit of depression right now.
there.
So let's wake up from that and bring on the sunshine.
Yep, for real.
Hmm. So what are we
Um,
doing you on today?
okay, I have a good one.
Okay.
So on Saturday, I went to the gym and took a sweaty spin class and then came home and realized that our hot water heater was broken. Like the tank was like linking all over the basement. So no hot water, and I'm absolutely not taking a cold shower. Who am I, Joe Rogan?
Yeah.
So I went back to the gym and showered there.
Okay.
And then was not able to take a shower again until Wednesday night at like 9 p.m.
Mm. That's like the norm for me. Not even going
Okay, wow,
like at
great.
least one. Yeah.
Perfect.
No, Chad literally yesterday was like, "Are you gonna shower today?" And I was like, "What did you just ask me?"
How dare you?
No, I 100% am standing by that. My 80-year-old grandfather, when I was in Arizona a couple years ago, was like, "Why do you shower every day?" And I was like,
Mm,
"Because that's gross." And he's like, "Why? You're not like exerting yourself
right.
unless like, and even if you are, like, wash your face and your like pits."
Yeah.
And now
Yeah, I
since
like wiped off my crevices. Like, don't worry. I did take like some sink showers.
yeah, no, exactly. But it's honestly so bad for your skin to shower every day.
I know. And I take like scalding hot showers, especially in the winter. Like, my favorite thing is to take a scorching shower
Mhm.
at nighttime before I get into bed. Like, oh, so cozy and warm. I want my skin burning off. So,
Yeah.
the opposite of what you're supposed to do for sure.
No, soak in that oil, babe. Soak in that grease, let it lather you up. It's so good for you. I feel like unless you are like, because I don't think sweat is good for your skin. Like I know you're supposed to
Yeah.
like, definitely take care of that situation, but as long as those parts are clean, girl, no judging. I'm here
Yeah. And
for it.
like, to be clear, the event wasn't like a physically grueling event besides just like getting a million steps every day. Like
Mhm.
it was at a union property, so we had to have like the union workers set everything up and like move everything. Like they were doing all the heavy lifting, which was chef's kiss.
Have that.
Love that for me. So, could be worse, but thank you so much for not judging me. Appreciate you.
Now I'm gonna start judging people for showering more. And guess what else? You can get lice from showering more because lice like to live in healthy, clean hair. So,
Well, I certainly am not washing my hair every day. Let's not get crazy.
yes, no. We should put a poll. How often are people showering?
Okay, adding it to the IG story, maybe for Monday. What are we judging you for this week?
Okay, so this is not an original thought at all
Mhm.
because I don't have those right now. So I was scrolling on TikTok and I popped across the Giggly Squad's real. And one of their hosts was like, okay, Travis
Yes.
Kelce is giving me the ick. And I
I saw
was
this.
dying. And she was going off about how she's like, I mean, you can be good, but like you won the Super Bowl. Like you can't be great, babe.
Yes.
I
Do
was
you
just
have to
like,
be the best?
yeah, you have to be the best. And I was like, I'm stealing this from you because yes, he has lately been giving me the ick with his like whole singing and just like awkwardness. And I get like you get excited and all of that, but I don't know. I know I'm trying to be a fan. Obviously, I am trying to be supportive of my BFF, Taylor,
Mhm.
but
Speaking of
she's better than
friendships,
him. She's better than him. So I guess my judge me is, are you mad that I am not a team Travis Taylor any longer?
you're just not even Team Travis at all.
No, I
Oh my
can't.
God, the anarchy.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, seeing the videos of him that drunk at the parade,
Mm-hmm.
those like that gave me the ick. Like I didn't mind. I liked the videos of them at the club, like singing to each other. Like that was funny and cute. Like they're having a good time, celebrating
Mhm.
whatever. The Viva Las Vegas after the Super Bowl. Enough is enough, man. Enough is enough.
Yeah.
And then the drunkenness, it's like you know that Taylor was getting the ick. You know it. Like,
Yes. And then I saw another video of like, I can't wait till they break up. And then Taylor's like, you embarrass me singing Viva
yes.
Las Vegas. And I was dying. I'm like, yes, now
Yes.
I actually like, you know, true love. If it's true love, keep going, babe. But if not, I'm here for your songs when they come out
Oh
because
my
I'll be.
God, yeah. There definitely will be some reference to like Vegas or something.
So yeah, no longer
Oh,
can't support it. Sorry.
I'm not judging you. I think that's like a hilarious take. And
Okay.
yeah,
Can't love everybody. I'm being judgy because, I'm judging someone else, but I'm taking a judge me and judging someone else.
I think that's fine. I mean, it's like, okay, if this is his behavior like super frequently,
Mm,
obviously it won't last because Taylor's not a dum dum.
yes.
She wouldn't put up with that.
Preach, queen. Preach. So
So,
anyway,
mm.
all right. Let's dive into today's content.
Yeah, so today is all about friendship in the theme of our month of love. One of the greatest types of love is friendship love. And I feel like sometimes those relationships are the ones that are taken for granted, but especially like female friendships, like they're some of the most important relationships that you can have in your life.
For sure. For sure. Yeah, I feel like we should have done friendship before partnership. What the hell are we thinking?
Oh
First of
my God, I'm canceled.
okay, but I want to know, what do you think friendship is? Like, what is friendship to you? Because I think that it's a really complicated, not a complicated, a big word for a lot of tiers.
Yeah, so I feel like we both sort of had similar notes on this, where I feel like friendship, maybe not like a definition of friendship, but like expectations of friendship differ so much person to person. Like what I expect out of my friends is going to be different than what someone else expects out of their friends at times, or what I expect from certain friends is maybe different than other ones. And I feel
Mm-hmm.
like I, especially in my 30's, like low maintenance friendships, not low expectations, because
Okay.
like not the bar is low, but like we don't need, I don't know, like I feel like a high maintenance friendship is just like not sustainable in your 30's and like not here for it.
100% agree with you. And I think that it's so important to determine the difference between like low maintenance, high expectation, right?
Mm,
So, like, I'm totally unlearning this whole idea of like having different expectations for people based off of who they are. And I want to be clear in the fact that, like, I expect everyone to give me certain things in a friendship, just like I would expect myself to give my friends certain things.
mhm,
But I mean more of like, I'm unlearning the fact that, like, my friend that I've known forever, maybe in high school, I don't they're not as responsible as like you are. And so I kind of like let them go on a few things.
Mm,
Whereas I like I want to like level that up. Like just because I've known you longer or just because you're silly and like, oh my God, that's such a funny thing that you do. No, the expectation is that you support me in whatever way that looks like. That
mm,
can be different. But like I'm no longer letting people pretend like they're my friend if you're not like showing up, being supportive and like really being there for me, you know?
yeah. Yeah, totally. And I feel like which we'll talk about a little bit, like friendship breakups and how that can go. But like I feel like I've entered into friendships where the expectations are just like so insanely high that it's for at least for me, like for their friend group, I guess it sort of seemed to work, although it also seemed to really stress everyone out. Like everything was a to do, everything had to be so big and over the top, where I feel like at least the way I expect for like myself and my friends is to like know when to show up, like know when it's important to show up, and know when it's okay to kind of be like, you know what, I like do not have it in me right now, like maybe this isn't the most important thing for me to go to, like how else can I show my support, like because you can even support friends in small ways, like okay, do they have a side hustle or a business, can you shout them out or recommend them to people, can you,
Mhm.
they're, I don't know, do something, like if they're doing something or I can't think of an example, but like showing up to it, making
Yeah.
sure you're like at the important life events, but
100% true. And I feel like in my own life, I can't support people anymore about like actually being like in a physical presence with a lot of people because I'm pregnant and because I have a
yeah.
toddler and because of life. But like if I tell someone I'm going to do something, I am there, you know? And
Yeah.
the same thing of you're saying of like I wrote my book this year and put something on Instagram, and a lot of my friends reposted it and things like that. And it's like, that does mean a lot to me, you know? And it's
Means so
like
much. And it's
little things like that.
a low effort
A low
way
effort.
to be like, I'm proud of you
Yep.
and I'm showing my support. And
Yep.
like, if you don't feel the push, like an internal push to want to do that, then
Mhm.
like I feel like you should kind of reevaluate what that friendship is looking like,
Ah,
because although we are obviously, since every single episode starts with us being like, how are you? I'm tired. Like we're all tired, we're all super busy. Um so it can be really easy to just like get kind of caught up in your own stuff in your own bubble, and I definitely am guilty of that, but
I don't think you are. I don't think you are.
I mean, I think we all can be at times, or maybe feel like you're not present enough. But I feel like that also, sorry, I feel like this conversation is just gonna like, it's gonna flow through a lot of different things. I feel like we're gonna hit a lot in a lot of different points of
Mhm.
time. But I feel like it's also kind of taking in this new chapter of our lives that we're entering into, where especially like for our friendship and our group of college friends, where when we all became friends, we all lived in the same house, or at most we were like a mile apart from each other. Our
Mhm.
life, like in college, your life in high school, your life is so centered around your friends. And now we're reaching that age where friendships are really decentered from our lives, which is really sad. Like, I feel like it makes me nostalgic of the times where it was so fun to always have someone around and to easily be able to just like do the day to day mundane things, like hopping in the car together and driving to get a coffee, or getting ready together and like sharing clothes, or just like,
See, that like stresses me out. I like totally get what you're saying and I like I agree to a certain extent, but I also think back to like I would force so much of like
oh
that.
my gosh,
You know,
totally.
does that make sense? Am I making sense? Like,
Yeah. And
oh,
I
I
feel like
have
we
to go,
should talk
someone has
about,
to come with me, you know? And it's like, I'm actually excited that like I don't have a plethora of friends right now. Like, I want some quality friends. I want to do
yeah,
some really quality things. Like, I honestly don't miss like getting ready with people. And I think that's my personality too. Like, I'm a very independent, like individual person. I'm an
yeah.
only child and I'm a brat. And I'm not like used to having people around, so I think that that has to do with it. But
Totally.
I think that there's something to be said about like growing up and giving space for your friendship to mold into something too.
Yeah, exactly. No, I feel like in actuality, if that was my life right now, like it would not be an enjoyable thing because like that's not where my energy levels are at. I love spending time by myself, but finding, okay, how does this friendship evolve into this new chapter of our life? And so naturally, some friendships just kind of fade away because that's just what happens in life, but also figuring out like, all right, what is like the appropriate cadence of us seeing each other? Like what works for both of us? How do we connect in ways that like are not that? Like one of my best friends from high school, we like see each other probably like once a month, once every 6 weeks ish, maybe. Um, and like we really just communicate by like sending memes and TikToks to each other. And
Hmm.
like it's the most low maintenance friendship, but like we're always there for each other, like to check in when we hang out. It's like no time has passed. And like I always know that like she will hype me up. If I'm going through something, she would be there. But our life is not conducive now to constantly being in contact with everyone, to constantly like being a part of everyone's everyday life, unless you're like coworker friends or neighbors or something that like is more in that
Yes.
everyday thing. And
Yeah, and I think
it's
as a go keep going.
no, go ahead.
No, I was just thinking about when you were saying like coworkers versus like long life besties type of thing. I kind of like am happy that I'm accepting of that now instead of like
Mhm.
forcing any friendship in my life to be like my bestie, you know?
Yeah.
And I think back to like phases where it's like anyone you would start to get close with, it was like jump on and Velcro yourself to them, you know?
Mm.
Like I love that I have my like acquaintance group of friends and my mom group of friends and my friends and my best friends. And I have some friends that are like family to me, you know? And it's like that is totally okay. I think
Yeah.
what isn't okay when I was kind of reflecting on this idea of like different types of friends, someone that I'm friends with, I remember said to me about having like different like teams of friends, I guess you could say. Like, this
Mm.
is my A list, and this is my B list, and my C list. And it's like, no, no, no,
It
we're
feels
moving
very
away
like
from that.
MySpace top 8 to me, you know?
Yes. And I think that that was like a while back. So like
Yeah.
if I'm sure she's not still in that phase. But I like really think it's powerful and really beneficial to not have everyone be like a sister to you. And
Yeah.
it's like healthy to like show some parts of you and to maybe be a little bit more reserved for different people. But it is
Yeah.
such a balance. It's a really like funky, I don't know, funky flow.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like just like it's unfair to expect like your romantic partner to be able to be everything for you. It's similar in your friendships, right? Like you have friends for different, like each friend kind of brings different things to your life. Like your mom group of friends, you can relate to in a different way than like you and I, like our friendship. And I think
But no, like literally my heart just like broke. I'm like, no, you can relate to me. Is that really bad? I'm
you're
like,
like,
wait a
no,
second. No, you are
not at
my
all.
everything.
I mean, I thank the heavens above that people like you have carved the path before me. So that way, once I am with child, you can be my Sherpa through the whole thing. So get ready for that. That will be a high maintenance friendship. That will be a phase of high maintenance friendshiping between us. No, but I
Oh,
feel like it is like you have to let it flow because sometimes in those kind of transition times, it can feel like I know for myself, like I just said it. I don't always show up for everyone enough. And you're like, yeah, of course you do. But like sometimes it can feel like, oh, well, I used to see that person all the time. And now it's kind of reduced down to like text every now and then. And like we see each other a few times a year. And that's totally okay. But like, I feel like you have to just like succumb to
yeah.
the flow
Yeah.
of life.
And I think it's kind of the direction that we talk about every episode is like you have to follow what feels good. Like we're not trying to force anything anymore. Like if I talk to someone and they're like, let's get lunch or something, and my initial gut reaction is like, oh,
Hmm.
yeah, let's do that. But like we're never gonna do that. That's
Yeah.
not like a good thing. Like it's not that it's not a good thing, but it's like we're forcing something here. It doesn't have to be like
Hmm.
this. And maybe the other person probably feels the same way, and it's like trying to find that communication between whoever it is to be like, yeah, this just like isn't our type of relationship anymore. It doesn't have to be that anymore. And I think that that's totally healthy too. Which gets me in to your one of your big points of friendship breakups, right? Is that what we're
Yeah, let's
turning?
talk about friendship breakups
Okay.
because it can go so many different ways. It can be a slow fizzle out, it can be a
Hmm.
ghost, it can be a fight.
It can be a fight.
What kind of friendship breakups have you been through?
Okay, so one of my like I think that it's very individual into who you are. Like I have a lot of like childhood wounds that's definitely not
Mm.
healthy, but like totally being upfront here. So like when I feel uncomfortable, like someone's going to like leave me, I'll kind of like lash out at them, right? Like I'll definitely like is Poe talking to you? He's trying to have a conversation too. Um, like the amount of times that I ask Chad if he's mad at me is like so annoying, but like I need that confirmation that like you're not mad at me and you're not going to leave me. But that can also be really freaking annoying. And I'm sure at some points he's like, stop. Like, but we have obviously the biggest relationship between him and I. So,
Yeah.
anyways, it can become really complicated with friends. So when I feel really like disappointed, maybe taken advantage of or not respected, my initial like thing is to make it really uncomfortable for the other person. And it comes
Yeah.
from such a place of total um insecurity. Like it has
Yeah.
nothing to do with the other person. It has everything to do with me. So if
Well,
you're
I feel like
listening,
it's like
you're one of my friends.
the
Yeah,
romantic episode too of like being like, I know I need to just communicate, not just like ice them out until they figure it out for themselves. I feel like it's so similar in a friendship. We just don't always have that dynamic of being able to really talk about the tough stuff.
totally. And you don't want people, like, I never want people to be like mad at me. So I have to either come
Same.
across as like super, oh, it's okay. It's okay. Or if I'm madder at you than you are at me, then I'm gonna win. And that's usually the
Mm.
approach I take with Chad, if I'm being honest. But like if you're a friend of mine who
Relatable.
I've gotten into conflict with, you will probably agree that like I'll come at it like a freaking wrecking ball. And it's totally insecurity because like I don't want you to go anywhere. Like I want you to feel bad that you or like you need to do something. So anyways,
Mm.
I'm definitely going on a tangent here, but talking about friendship breakups, I would say when I've broken up with a friendship for a healthy reason, it's usually been like a pretty big discussion. And I think it's going to be funny because I have a feeling yours is going to be different.
Mm.
But it's usually like I have to have a conversation about it.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that it's just my personality to
I think
like,
that's a healthier way to go about it, though.
I don't know, I'm
I
mean.
mean, I guess depending on what the outcome is and what the outcome is that you want, like, do you want to resolve or do you want
Oh,
to
that's
just,
true too. Because now I'm thinking about like friends that have fizzled out, and I'm like, I just don't really want to do this anymore. And so it's just, you just
yeah,
let it.
which I
But the ones
think
that are
is,
really worth fighting for, I'll fight for you, even though I'm fighting at you.
yeah, like, I feel like I definitely have had, I think just like everyone in life has had those friendships that you just kind of let fizzle.
Mhm.
Like, I definitely have had a few that either a little bit of conflict has come up or, um, just like really not aligning on like lifestyle and like things that they're doing are like triggering to me because of my own stuff that I am dealing with from my past, or like if friendships like of people that also aren't willing to like evolve and like take accountability and work on their own demons that they're dealing with. Not like, I'm better than everyone because I'm in therapy. But like, it is hard sometimes to relate to people if, or to even just like, I don't know, have a conducive friendship with someone who can't take responsibility for their actions. And like, I feel like some of those friendships just like naturally fizzle because you're just not in the same place anymore. And it doesn't have to be any like bad blood or anything. It can just be like, we're just not close anymore. And that's okay. Like,
Yes. Letting
still, like, we had our time. And then when we were super close, and that was great. Um, and then the one like more dramatic friendship breakup that I have had, because I feel
What's
like,
her name?
I mean, honestly, like multiple people listening to this definitely will know the story,
Yeah.
and I don't
It
give a
is
fuck.
funny because like as we're both talking, we both know exactly who and what we're talking about. But of
Yeah.
course we would never, ever, ever say anything.
Yeah. Um, well, okay. So this friendship was a roommate and then turned friendship, turned no more. And definitely will take ownership of some of my moments of being a not so not great roommate at the time, going through a breakup, going through a transitionary time of life, definitely not being super conscientious of her always. But I think also just like not good communication between the two of us of expectations of roommate life. And she like really wanted to like be a mom to Poe. So then like maybe I took advantage of that a little bit, but like also she wouldn't tell me when she was like annoyed if I was like leaning too much on her. I don't know, whatever. And it was just like a very toxic friendship, like very like love bomby and like obsessive and possessive, and like really tried to pit me against a lot of my friends, like would talk shit about all my friends even though she did not know them, but then try to like force me into her friend groups. And like her friends were all lovely, lovely people, and like it does make me sad that now I don't have relationships with them because of it. But just like definition of high expectation friendships. Like I it was like in the start of when I was like really going to therapy to heal some of my childhood wounds, a lot of which have to do with drinking. So I stopped drinking, or stopped drinking a lot, as I once did. And she had a really big problem with it, in that if I didn't want to be out all day drinking in Southie, which if you've ever done it, it's a shit show. And like if you're not drinking, you don't want to be there because it's a bunch of frat boys
Right.
and sticky
God.
floors and stuff. And I also have a job where, or at the time I did, where I had to be up early and like teach fitness classes. So like I could not be hungover and stay up late. And there were so many times where like I hung out for so much time, or like showed up with the birthday presents and like still was there, but because I didn't want to stay all day, or I didn't want to stay out super late or something, like it would always become a fight. And like those are the like expectations that were just not aligned. And in the end, I am going to tell the actual story of us breaking up because like I don't care. So
Teenager.
sorry, and then I'll let you talk because I'm really long-winded here.
I'm here.
Okay, so it was her birthday, but her birthday fell on the same weekend as one of our best friends. And we had made plans like months in advance for that friend's birthday, who was a friend of like 10 plus years. Like we just were much closer. And it's not like you're ranking friendships, but like the plan was already made. And so her boyfriend tried to plan a weekend away with her friend group, including me, my roommate. And I said I couldn't go because I already had these plans. So instead, I asked her to go out to dinner with me for her birthday, like on her birthday. Took her out to dinner, bought her this like beautiful big bouquet of flowers that was like $50, and wrote a really nice card, picked up dinner. I also wasn't drinking, and she had like 4 margaritas, which is fine. It's your birthday, go off. But like, I paid for all the margaritas and all the food and everything. And I kid
That's
you
so
not.
awkward to like just down 4 margaritas and your like person is just like The water's
Put on water.
fabulous.
I'm like, this water is hitting. And
Sorry,
like, no judgment. Go off. It's your birthday.
I'm judging. Go ahead.
And like the disappointment. And like she knew the stuff that I had gone through and the stuff I was working through. And when I told her that I wasn't drinking for that reason, she just was like, oh, like so disappointed. I'm like, I'm still going to be a fun time for you. And then at the closeout of dinner, she physically looked underneath the table, all around the table for a physical gift and got
Oh,
visibly upset when there was no actual gift.
I cannot.
And then we like got up. I said goodbye, gave her a hug. And then she was like, wait, why can't you go on the trip this weekend again? And I told her it was for our friend's birthday. And she literally just said, oh, turned around, walked away. We've never talked to her since. Not a
Oh,
word.
my pits are sweating.
I know.
The drama.
Literally crazy. And it was one of those things where I was like, I could resolve this, but like this friendship has been stressing me out for like
Mm,
over a year at this point. Like it's a lot of bullying and controlling, and I can't give her what she's looking for. It's not working either way. So like I'm not going to try to like fight for this. And I knew that she wanted me to like grovel and beg. And then I got engaged really shortly after, but she knew I was like really like excited for and like waiting for, and didn't hear a peep, never said anything, never said anything when we got married. And then after that, I was like, it clearly, like, this is just, we can just chalk it up to a loss, you know? That was so long winded. So sorry.
I needed a nice drama story, and I know I've heard that story before, but like you forget it, and you're like, wait, the one of her like looking for presents like makes me want to throw up.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like everything about that, and we don't even need to recap it. Everyone agrees that is hands down goodbye.
Yeah, and
Thank
I'm
you.
sure she has a very different version of that story. Um,
Stop it. No, there is no other version. That is unacceptable behavior. Okay, you
no,
are
I know,
cheating.
but like everyone has their own versions of what happened, and I'm sure from her perspective, like I was the friend that doesn't show up enough, and all of that.
Yeah.
But
So talking about like good friends and bad friends,
yeah.
when do you feel like you yourself are like the
Mm.
best friend or like giving your best self?
Um, hmm. That's a good question. I struggle with this a lot because I do feel guilt of like not like I feel like I don't like see my friends enough, or like we've talked about this a bunch of times the last few weeks, like I don't feel like I'm always like the fastest texter and all of that. But I don't know. I feel like now the friendships that are in my life are very there like intentionally, and I don't know. I can think of lots of times I was a bad friend.
Well, I think that you're a very good friend, and I think that Amanda, and my husband even says this too, is like the best gift giver in the sense that
Oh
like
my god, I feel like I'm not good at
always
that at
actually
all.
like think about the person. Like you never just like go to a store like Marshall's and just like grab something, which is nothing wrong with that if you do that.
Mm,
But like you always, always, always write a very sincere card,
mm.
like well thought out.
I do
Amanda
love
had
words of
my birthday this
affirmation.
year showed up like we were married for 18 years with like this big bouquet of flowers that lasted like a long. He's currently planning a sprinkle for me this. So when you say like you're not present, I feel like
I feel
I
like
can't,
when I'm with people, I'm present. Like I'm definitely not like sitting on my phone while we're at dinner. Like when I'm there and like want to make the time count, because it's like we're not seeing each other every weekend. And not that that needs to be the expectation, and I don't want that expectation from my friends, but
yeah.
what about you?
When do I think I'm a good friend?
Yeah.
Um, so I think that because I obviously reflect on this, but I just sprang it on you, but I've reflected on this. So
I'm like, I don't know, never.
I
You
think
should
that
probably
it's like
break up with me too.
what you look for in others is when you feel good about you doing the same types of things.
Mm,
So like I think that, and I think it comes with age too. I have more space for like understanding and accepting
mm,
others. Um, I actually like enjoy sitting with my friends when they're in uncomfortable feelings and feelings that you can't put to words, and I have been learning, and I think it's because like that's what I look for in friendships is like I don't need you to heal me. I want you to just accept me.
Mm,
Um, and a lot of my life, like people would there'd be a lot of like pity, and or sympathy for things that I had been through. And now I have friends that instead of like feeling bad for me, have empathy for me and try to really understand who I am and the way I am and accept every part of me. And so going back to this idea of like, I feel like I'm the best friend when my friend has a different opinion than me or a different vantage point from me, and I accept it for what it is and who they
yeah.
are. Um, and I also lately have been like, I have a smaller group of friends now than I definitely have in the past, but I am so obsessed with all of you. And I feel like I love talking about my friends. All of my best friends have literally like been on the podcast, and I like they're like my family now.
Hmm.
And so I just feel like I don't know, just letting people in. That's when I feel like I'm a good friend, when I'm like
Yeah.
really being myself and letting other people be themselves.
Same. And I feel like that doesn't always come easy to me. Like I definitely am someone that can like make friends with anyone. I can talk to a brick wall.
Mhm.
Not that I want to, but like from like moving around so much, like I definitely for years of my life was really good at just mirroring other people
Mhm.
unintentionally, I think, but like mirror, oh my God, that's such a hard word to say.
Immediately?
Mirroring
Yes.
other people um and making a million friends because I was so afraid of like being lonely and not having a friend group and not fitting in somewhere. But then you end up with like a million and one like acquaintances, which is not sustainable. So I feel like now that I'm, in this stage of life, I'm a much better friend to my small core group of friends, like you were saying. And like what you're describing is my like ideal friendship hang. Like I love nothing more than sitting side by side on a couch and gabbing away or grabbing a cup of coffee and sitting across from each other and just like chit chatting about life and getting deep. And I remember like I can pinpoint very specific memories with you of like it's very typical that like it was written
We
in
now
the stars
have
that
a
we
podcast,
now
but now we
talk.
can't even get together. Now we're like, we'll Zoom about it.
I know, so real. But I remember there were like specific times that I can remember like so long ago of us grabbing coffee or something and like leaving us hanging out and being like, "Ugh, I need to hang out with her more because like that was such a good talk." And like I'm leaving this hang with such like a lighter feeling and like this feeling of being connected where like that's not always the feeling when you leave hanging out with someone. And like you should pay attention to that too. Like are you walking away fucking exhausted or do you feel like, oh, that was so great,
Right.
you
Right.
know?
I love that.
um Times I was a bad friend
Oh,
in my goddamn 20s. I don't understand how any of you guys fucking dealt with my ass. I feel like I was a drunk slob kebab that was just like so desperate for attention that like I feel like Cassie Denoncourt deserves a trophy for the amount of times that I like knocked on her door sobbing in the middle of the night over like some fucking loser idiot, you know? And like she never once would make me feel bad about it. You know what I mean? Like she was just there, even though I'm
yeah.
sure in her head she's like, again? This guy is creating these tears? Or like
Yeah,
us being out and being like, well, we have to go. He's at this bar, we gotta go.
for sure. I think that
But
everyone
I think,
feels
yeah,
that
that's a stage of
sometimes.
being in your
I
20s.
wrote that in one of my notes, like high school me. Ew, who is
Oh,
she? But you know what? It's like
it's a journey.
It's a journey and it's all from things that I was afraid to admit at the time. Like
Mhm.
I was who I was because I was jealous and insecure. And everyone I think goes through that phase at some point in their life. And like it's such an honor now that we're in our 30s and we can admit that, and
Yeah.
it's like I was a biatch,
Oh,
biatch, like
totally.
gross because I wanted attention.
You needed it.
And
You
it's
needed
like, but you know what? I'm happy we're here. And I'm sorry if I was a biatch to you.
it. You were never a biatch to me. But yeah, it's a learning journey. I do have not really moments of regrets because I feel like the friendships that were gonna stick around stuck around, but I definitely was not good at finding resolve or like working towards resolutions with friends. Like that was not a skill I was taught growing up. And I would get so uncomfortable with conflict that like I definitely missed out on some good years of friendships. And like luckily some of those friends that I'm thinking of, we are still very close to this day. So it all worked itself out. But I feel like there was a lot of wasted time with like wondering what each other was thinking or just like being like kind of mad at each other instead of actually just sitting down and like talking through it and just being able to move past it faster. So I'm glad that I still don't like conflict, but now I think I'm better at those conversations.
Mhm. Well, it's so true. I made a note here too of like when I'm a bad friend, and something actually happened to me yesterday that I wanted to share. I was getting a massage, and this my massage therapist is actually like, of course, someone in Marblehead, so like everyone knows someone who knows someone.
Yeah.
So I do know her in like a deeper level, but I realized she was telling me her birth story, and basically she wanted to have a natural birth at home. It's her fourth baby. They've all been natural.
Oh my
And
God, good for
long
her.
story short, she ended up with a C-section, like an emergency C-section at the hospital, and we were talking about it. And I was like, "How are you?" And she's like, like we're doing okay. Like the surgery was a lot." And I was like, "Oh my God, I know. Like it's just so stigmatizing too." And I was going off about like my
Yeah.
experience with my C-section. And she's like, "Yeah, I don't really feel like stigmatized. It was like a big surgery I wasn't expecting." And I was like mad at her for a second. And then I was like, "Oh, process brain, you're doing your hamster wheel here." And then I was like,
Hmm.
"Oh, I'm jealous of her. I'm not like mad or like whatever, but it's like I'm jealous of her because she's not experiencing this emotion. Whereas I love the fact that like I had a feeling, I stopped myself, I processed it, and I was like, oh, babe, this isn't what we do anymore? And I think it's
Yeah,
like, that's such a bigger idea. But like
totally.
in my friendships now, I can actually like slow myself down and be like, you don't have to act immature and like this because of a wound that happened decades ago. Let's
Hmm.
rethink this. Uh, and it is
Totally.
so cool to like be able to have friendships and relationships where like we can have that mature conversation.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of times, like maybe I'm interpreting that wrong a little bit, but I'll catch myself doing similar things like or maybe not with a friendship, but someone that I'm like meeting for the first time and I'm like kind of off put by them. And then if I stop myself in that same way, can reflect of like, oh,
Hmm.
either it's like something they have something that I'm insecure about, or they're doing something that I don't like about myself. And it's very much like a reflection, like has nothing to do with them. It's all just me.
And
But
another
that's
tip,
called growth.
it's called growth. Hashtag, look it up.
Mm,
Um, when you're feeling jealousy too, I love the idea of being able to realize that jealousy is like you're in a cloud and it's like right outside your cloud. Something is like right there and it's so in your grasp, but you can't quite get it yet. And
yeah,
so
you can
thinking
see
about
it.
it as like, yeah, it's right there for you, like that opportunity is right there and you're feeling jealous, but like you can get it. It's like
Mhm.
because you can now see it and manifest it for yourself. So I've been really trying to think like that lately. I'm not
Yeah.
great at it, but I'm getting there.
Same, 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 same. But I do love that idea of like the universe isn't showing you this to like put it in front of
Push.
your face and mock you. It's showing it because it's possible for them. So why wouldn't it be possible for you?
Mhm. Yeah.
Boom.
Love it.
Um, this isn't really a question, but more a observation. So I saw this thing, I don't remember who was talking about it. It was a while ago. They were talking about how male friendships miss out on so much connection because when women are together, we're typically interacting face to face. We sit across tables and talk, where mostly when guys hang out, they're shoulder to shoulder, sitting at a bar, sitting at a game, and they
Oh,
miss out on so much connection just from the way they're positioning themselves and because they're naturally not opening up as much. Like, I feel like Mark will tell me, like, oh, so and so, is doing this. And I'm like, I ask one detail question and he's like, I don't know, we didn't talk about it. I'm like, oh my God, get the details, man. And they
wow.
just don't in the same way. And I feel like we're really lucky, like, to have these close female friendships. It's such like
Yeah.
an enriching part of life.
I would love to get like a psychologist on to talk about male friendships and like how they differ because
Yeah.
that's fascinating to me. Just that one
Right.
little blurb of like how you, and it is true, like how you physically show up to a situation. Like when the four of us got dinner the other night, and it was like me, Chad, Mark, and Amanda,
Mm.
where you sit at the table. It's like,
Yeah.
who are you going to talk to? Because you're gonna be facing them, you know? Are you gonna make like the guys stare at each other? No, that's awkward. Like, but it's like I want to talk to Amanda, you know? It's like it is so funny. Wow. I'm going there.
It also is so funny when I feel like as like a group, like a bigger group, we go out as couples and it always ends up being all of the girls sitting on one side of the table and all of the guys sitting on the other side of the table.
Yeah.
And we're basically just forcing all of them to hang out and become friends, which at this point they have, so it's great. And
Gross.
then so we can all just hang out, but be like, well, you're invited. Which I feel
Oh my,
like Chad is like, I'm offended. I am one of the gals. I've been around for just as
yes.
long.
We could psychoanalyze just Chad for like an entire episode of how
Oh my
he
God.
literally has like girlfriends. He doesn't have like he's like a couple guy friends, but like he is a girl's guy. I don't know. I'm like, I
Yeah,
don't know.
but there's something that just like makes him so great at that.
He is one of a kind, I'll tell
It's
you that.
so
He's
good. We should
fine. Keep
really
your hands up.
we should find a picture of him with his sorority paddle that Mel made him. Post it on the
We
Instagram.
absolutely should. Oh my God,
One of the
Chad.
gals. One of the gals.
Yes.
Um, okay, I have a quick little rapid fire if we want to do that.
Okay, I saw that you wrote that in our notes and I didn't look. I like was like, go, no, go, go. Because I was
Scroll, scroll,
yeah.
scroll. Okay. Which TV friendship group would you like to be a part of and why?
You are such a TV girly. I am
I
obsessed.
love television.
I'm like TV, what is on TV? I
Or a
literally,
movie or a book.
oh my God. This is my pregnancy brain not working. Can you start?
Okay, I'll start.
Okay.
Um, well, right now I'm watching Gossip Girl, and while I would not like to deal with their drama, I would like to be a part of their friendship group because I think that would also just mean that I was also a rich person on the Upper East Side. So like if that meant
Oh,
I could be like just super wealthy, wonderful. But in reality, I think I would like to be a part of the Friends friendship group because like
yeah,
fucking
that's typical.
duh.
Come on. Come
I
on.
know, but that is like my comfort
Original.
show, you know?
Fine.
I'm a basic
Oh.
bitch and I've never denied that, Caitlin.
And the only thing I can think about, which is like embarrassing because literally my brain cells are fried, is One Tree Hill. Because I would call out of high school, like I would literally call the main office pretending to be my mom, being like, Helen is sick today. And I would watch DVDs of One Tree Hill and like pretend like I was a character on the show. So I'm just gonna leave it there. I
That is
want to be in One Tree Hill.
very funny.
Mhm.
Um, okay, what's your ideal friend date?
Ooh, that's a good one. I would say my ideal friend date is very chill. Like I love the unexpected, just like hang out, you
Mm,
know? Driving by, can I come by? Come on in. My house is a mess. You haven't even given me an opportunity to pretend like I can clean it.
mhm.
Come on in. I always have a hoard of food, as everyone knows. I'm gonna take out a ton of food. We're gonna get ourselves cozy, have some tea. spill the tea. Annie Banani can either be here or be napping, like easy breezy, keep it cool. But
Yeah.
I am also so excited because Mandy and some of my other friends are coming over this weekend for a teeny little
Mhm.
sprinkle. And I'm actually like, usually these things get me a little flustered and I feel like I have to do 18 million things, but I feel like I'm really excited. I think you guys are just coming over and like hanging with me and it's
Wearing
gonna be
sweats, no makeup.
yeah. So anything that's casual, I'm here for. Come on
Yeah.
over. What about you?
Honestly, truly same. I'll say there are two versions. One,
What
the date that we had to the Taylor Swift Eras movie was like still one of the best nights of my life.
that is true.
A quick, yummy meal. We chatted, and then we got to lay the fuck down and take in the Eras store.
So happy we did.
What's wrong with that? Um, but very much same as what you're saying. Like I love a girls' night in, a GNI, if you will. Like sweats, we're on the couch. Maybe we have a glass of wine, maybe
Yeah.
not. Or like I feel like Galen and I went through a phase where every time we hung out, we would just like sit on our couch, have an edible, watch Broad City, and like eat some yummy food and just like giggle our asses off.
You guys and your edibles, I gotta tell you. You guys are two peas in a pod with that. I love it.
We are crazy. Yeah, so mostly we just don't like to leave the house is the
Just like to giggle and
yeah.
live this.
Okay, describe yourself as a friend in 2 words.
Mm, in 2 words. Um, I was just about
I
to say
know.
needy.
Needy. I don't think you're needy.
I think I am though. Like I think in this phase of my life, I am needy. Like I need a lot from my friends. Like, no, I can't come over. You need to come to me because
Well, that's fair.
yeah, but like like a lot of my friends like do favors for me lately. And I think that
Eh,
because like I'm saying, it's like
but it's
a
a phase of
favor.
life too.
Yeah, but it's also like I think of them like my family. Like you would call up
Yeah.
your mom, like, hey, can you come watch my baby? Like I literally call up my friends and I'm like, yo, you free Friday to watch Annie?
Yeah, but I feel like that's
I'm gonna go
also
with it. Needy and um needy and uh respect respected, respectable, something like that. Like I respect other people. What's the word? What's the
respectful.
something like that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I try to respect where everyone is right now.
Yeah,
Does that answer the question?
absolutely. Like
Okay.
understanding.
Thank you. Something
Yeah.
like that. Mhm.
No, but I feel like maybe you feel like needy because you're in a phase of your life where like you need a little bit more support, but like if you can't lean on your friends,
No, it's true.
then like
Like
what are
literally, I feel
you
like
doing?
I text you like every day being like, yo, I need to change the day that we're hanging out. I need to change what we're doing. And I'm like, I'm just a needy little person over here. So thanks for
No,
showing up.
of course.
What about
Okay,
you?
so I wrote this down and I also didn't think of anything. Like I tried to just write down the questions and then like run away from them before thinking of anything. So also be rapid fire. But I should have thought of something so I could answer more rapidly. Um, okay, one, I feel like silly. Like I want to just be goofy and silly and like my weird self and I want to have a giggly time, not take life too seriously. Although I'm quite guilty of doing that also. Over analyzing everything, therapizing everything.
Yeah.
But whatever. And then I don't know for a second one.
You can make
Like
a word up like I did. Respectful, respectable, blah, blah, blah.
yeah,
You're
so
like, yeah,
respectable.
okay.
Maybe like wait, I had a word and now it's gone.
That's all right.
Um, I would say I'm like pretty reliable.
You are.
I feel like I have canceled plans here and there, but
No.
the one unreliable part about me is like I probably will be like 3 minutes late to 5 to maybe 7. I'm
You
working
and I
on it.
need to like literally schedule therapy sessions because we are just shitting all over ourselves.
Oh my God, seriously, I have one on Tuesday. Karen, help.
I'm
We're working on it actively. Okay. A
out of breath.
time that a friend showed up for you that meant a lot to you.
Oh my God. I honestly feel like I could list off a million and 18 reasons, like all of them. Right now in my season of life, if you are in my life and you are a good friend, like every little thing you do makes such a big difference. Whether it's like I said, me texting you being like, I can't do this, we got to change it like last minute, and you being like, yeah, we are loosey gooseys.
Hmm.
Just making light of it, like that goes such a long way in my head because it's like, I'm fucking up again. Like I'm
Yeah,
ruining someone else's day and just being super easy. Like that makes such a big difference.
totally.
Um, my friends that like live closer to me, like come and just hang out with me. I love that. I wouldn't say there's like one big grand gesture. When I had Annie, Emma and her fiance at the time were over here, like living with my dogs. Like
Hmm.
it's just being there,
Yeah,
whatever capacity it looks like for the day.
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Um, Totally agree with that. I would say I feel like when I first started teaching fitness classes, the way that like you and Cassie and Emma and like other lots of other friends that I'm not forgetting about you, just like we don't have the time to name everyone. Um, but like that meant so much of like just showing up. It's same thing, just being there. And like you didn't have to come to every single class, but like you guys had fun with it and like made me feel really supported during a time that was like exciting but also really scary. So, yeah. But I agree, just like the day-to-day things mean
Yeah.
so much. A note
Total.
to be like, "Hey, you've been, a little quiet. Everything good?" Like
Yep.
that means so much. Um that was pretty much the last one. I kind of wanted to think of something funny, like a funny friendship story,
Listen, my
but
brain has fried. Can you not tell? I
exactly.
can't talk anymore. We're done.
We're done. That's it.
Signing
That's it.
off.
Friendship over.
So I have to talk to you. We actually do need to break up. This is pretty awkward.
So we're gonna do this on the pod for some clicks and
Yeah.
likes.
Yeah. Oh my God. All right. I
Well,
gotta get a touch my back.
yeah. Moral of the story: love your friends, love yourself.
Hmm.
Wham
And
bam, turkey
have
and
fun
ham.
with
That's
it.
it.
All right.
Bye,
Toodaloo,
bitches.
friends. Bye.